Sajan Swami Maharaj Nije. Last Wednesday we had Sadak Sabha in Waukegan Mandir, and we were reading Swamini Vato chapter 3, talk number 33. This Vat was on becoming Nishkapat. And how Swami was saying that if we become Nishkapat, then for sure we will become Brahmrup. And then we had discussions from all the Bhayos on that Vat. Then NG Ben had asked a question on being Nishkapat, that, we pray in the night prayer, admitting our mistakes or whatever it is it enough, or we have to actually physically open up in front of the Guru or the Bhagavati? And then Dinkar uncle answered the question by saying that we want night prayer is a good technique, and that's the first level or first thing that we have to practice. By doing night prayer, we will become stronger and stronger. And the idea is that even if we, Dinkar was saying that even if our issues or problem or difficulty go away by night prayer, we want to still communicate with our Bhagavati to make it foolproof. So, and finally, Dingana was saying that one of the things that he mentioned was it is not the flaws like lust or anger that are problematic, but is when we have Manushya Bhav, that's the biggest hurdle or the challenge. And in a night prayer, we want to have that prayer, that deficiency or that Manushya Bhav goes away, and keep a night prayer focus on that.
Okay, so we can move on to next one. Huh?
Chapter 3, 37.
Okay.
36.
36.
First Gujarat. સ્વામિનારાયણ હરે સ્વામીએ વાત કરી છે પ્રકરણ 3 વાત 36મી. એક દિવસ સ્વામી સૂતા હતા અને બેઠા થઈને પ્રશ્ન પૂછ્યો છે, સારામાં સારું શું તે શું છે ને ભૂંડામાં ભૂંડું તે શું છે? ત્યારે કોઈ બોલ્યા નહીં. ત્યારે સ્વામી બોલ્યા છે, સારામાં સારું તો આ ભગવાન ને આ સાધુનો સંબંધ થયો છે, તેથી કાંઈ સારું નથી ને તેથી કાંઈ સારું સમજવું નથી. ને ભૂંડામાં ભૂંડું શું છે? તો આ સાધુને વિશે મનુષ્ય ભાવ આવે છે, તેથી બીજું કાંઈ ભૂંડું નથી. અને તે મનુષ્ય ભાવ તે શેને કરીને આવે છે? તો લોક, ભોગ, દેહ ને ચોથો પક્ષપાત તેને કરીને મનુષ્ય ભાવ આવે છે. તેમાં જેવું પક્ષપાત કરીને જીવનું ભૂંડું થાય છે, તેવું તો પંચ વિષય કરીને પણ નથી થતું. તે પક્ષે કરીને તો ગોપાળાનંદ સ્વામીના માથે પાણા નાખ્યા ને જોડીમાં દેવતા નાખ્યા. તે દેવતાને કાઢનારા અહીં બેઠા છે એમ કહીને વળી બોલ્યા છે, એવો સંસ્કાર તો અમારે માથે ઘણો થયો છે, તે મુખ થકી કહેવાય નહીં. ને એવા અવળા પક્ષે કરીને મોટા સાધુનો અવગુણ લીધો છે, તેને કરીને તો ભૂતની યોનિને પામ્યા છે. અને વળી કોઈ હશે તે પણ પામશે. ને તે પાપે કરીને ખાવી વિષ્ઠા ને પીવી લઘુશંકા એવા દુઃખને ભોગવે છે, પણ સુખ તો ક્યાંય થાય નહીં.
કરો.
One day, Swami was sleeping. He got up and asked, "What is the best of all and what is the worst of all?" At that time, nobody spoke. So Swami said, "The best of all is that we have attained the association of this God and this sadhu. There is nothing better than this. And there is nothing better to understand than this. And what is the worst of all? That one attributes human traits to this sadhu. There is nothing worse than this. And how does this attribution of human traits arise? It is due to desires for worldly possessions, worldly enjoyments, one's selfish body interests, and bias. Of these, the extent to which the jiv is maligned by bias does not happen even by the enjoyment of these sense pleasures. Due to such bias, those who have maligned a senior sadhu have been consigned to the realm of ghost. If there is someone like this, he too will go there. As a result of this sin, he suffers miseries such as having to eat fishes and drink urine. He suffers such misery but does not get any happiness at all anywhere." There is an example which probably is missed in the translation here is Swami is saying that due to wrong bias, they put like burning charcoals in Gopalan Swami's jodi, and Swami himself actually had took that out. So he was saying, he said in the Vad that jodi અંગારાના કાઢતા ઘરનાવાળા પણ અહીંયા આગળ બેઠા છે. And Swami is saying that and countless such oppositions have come on him that it cannot be said by this, it cannot be uttered. And then he's saying that, due to such bias, those who have maligned a senior sadhu have been consigned to the realm of ghosts. And if there is someone like this, he too will go there. As a result of this sin, he suffers miseries such as having to eat fishes and drink urine. He suffers such misery but does not get happiness at all anywhere. So that's how it's interesting why they missed out that or didn't include that in the translation.
જો થોડી એની પર વાત તેજ કરો.
So Dinkar uncle has been asking us to read this path and think about them. And so between each sabha, today I was thinking a bit more about that path at work, and then some thoughts were coming, so I just wrote them down. And I think one of the central theme in all of these paths, it's about, at least what I'm getting, is Divya Bhav and Nirdosh Buddhi and no Manushya Bhav, Mayik Bhav. That seems to be like the central theme of all the vats that are coming up, and very appropriate personally for me. So I was thinking more about the vat that Swami was saying and try to relate that in my life. Swami says that the best thing is that we have attained this association. And I was personally thinking that, this association with, Dinkar uncle and the satsang, especially in America, has given me so much, It's given me bliss, maturity, a level of contentfulness, fearlessness. It's given us the true goal and mission in life. It's given us great friends and great company. I was talking to Jason. When he was deciding to sort of move away from the mandir or not continue the path of sadhak, or do something different. And even he's one of the things that he was saying, that he has no regret for all the years that he has spent here. That over all these years, he has learned and grown a lot, and which is also very kind of remarkable. I was talking to Mehul earlier, and I always felt that when Mehul was living at the mandir, we were not able to provide the best environment for him to grow up and to go to school and study. But he himself, he was organically saying that on his own, that he would not trade his time for mandir for anything. And I was very surprised by that statement. I thought he would have some sort of reflection which would be different, but he had a different reflection, that he was really appreciative that the time that he had spent in the mandir. I was talking to Pragnesh. Pragnesh was saying that when he moved from here to New Jersey, he himself was feeling very sad or unhappy when he had to move out of this. So this association has done wonders, at least personally in my life, and has given me lot more than I can ever thought and imagine. When all these chapters were happening, some people were asking me, that how come you are continuing, or why are you considering why not leave because everyone else left, And the one thought, with the grace of God, was that what I am today, what I have received today, is all by this association. So there is no need for me to change that association. There is no need to change my life, because whatever I am is because of this. So I was thinking that Swami, has said that in other words, that this satsang is like Chintamani. That whatever Chintamani is this precious stone, which is a mythological stone, which is described that whatever we wish for, it comes true. And that's kind of sort of to the extent of the satsang as well. Whatever our desire is, we can get it. We could get a lot from the satsang. But unfortunate things happen is that when we say that this satsang has only this much to offer, and we put a full stop or a period, કે આ સત્સંગમાં આટલું જ સુખ છે, અને આનાથી વધારે કંઈ છે નહીં. And that's in my understanding, that's in my understanding when the Manushya Bhav part starts, that we no longer see the divinity in the satsang, and we sort of say, okay, I've gained a lot, I've enjoyed a lot, but then the satsang has only this much to offer. I was thinking of this example of some very poor person, and in his in his legacy, he's gifted a land, which is basically barren land, which is worthless and no value in it. But now this man is extremely poor. And imagine now in this land, if he strikes oil, or he finds a diamond mine in it, Now, overnight his thing will change, And, so then this land which was given to him certainly becomes the source of all the riches, and he gets, he earns a lot, and he is prosperous and he is happy, or whatever it is, Now, if, at that point, the person now starts to squander away the wealth that he has gained, then that becomes a reverse trend. What was benefiting him is now actually hurting him, because let's say he gets into bad habits like gambling or whatever it is, whatever things that Bapu says that atla anarth Lakshmi sathe ave, all those anarth, let's say he gets caught into that, So like, when we get this satsang and we bliss in satsang, we have this feeling of elatedness, and we feel of contentment. But then because of that, we become static, or we start seeing negative, or we start cultivating some sort of superiority complex. Then that this satsang, which was the cause of all the happiness, we will start to lose out of the same satsang because of what we have gotten from it. And this is where Swami was explaining that that where our the challenge comes when with this factor or this hurdle of manushya bhav. And Swami explains 4 causes for those manushya bhav. Even in just a side thought was, if someone who is sadhak karto hai, sadhana karto hai, and for him to actually attain some sort of perfection or some sort of siddhi or some sort, whatever he's doing sadhana of, he has to see that perfection outside. And so if, for example, the sadhak is with the guru, he has to see the perfection in that guru. Now in that guru himself, he starts doubting that guru, then whatever perfection he's supposed to achieve, naturally he will not achieve, because he has no imagination of the perfection. He himself has stopped or his own progress by seeing the manushya bhav in the guru, by not completely seeing the guru as divine. He himself has stopped his own progress of it's very logical, at least to me, that that if you want to achieve that perfection has to manifest in front of you. That's how you will get the imagination, an idea of where the perfection is. And if we just dismiss that, then there's no way we can get that to that level of perfection. So Swami here talks about like 4 different things that causes manushya bhav. And as he mentioned, 3 of them are related with like panchavisha. The first is lok, and lok, what I was thinking from lok, it includes fame, prosperity, family relations, friends, all of that, which basically change our priority from making satsang instead of making satsang as the first priority. Those things become our priority. So I was, again, in that example, I was thinking that if that person who had got this land, and then his friend comes along, and he says that stop digging here, go to this place, and that is has much more, that has much more wealth in it, and if this person then foolishly stops it and starts looking somewhere else, he has only misery to encounter, or like if he stops this mining business and says because it is not it's not glamorous or whatever it is that people want, and he starts, let's say, I'm going to go to Hollywood do acting, and so those kind of foolishness, without understanding the relative value, without understanding the value of what we have attained, that's where lok can create a problem for us. Then Swami talks about day. Now for day, I was thinking that bodily comforts or discomforts or sickness or preservation for our own body, and we forget the true thing, which is the Atma, that once we die, this body is going to go into ashes. But really, what have we done for the Atma, So because of our bodily discomforts, if we give up the satsang and this association, which is really nourishing our Atma, that is also, short-sightedness. I was luckily, by grace of God, we haven't had that many, that kind of bodily sicknesses, so we really can comment, But I was thinking that if something does happen, then, I was, for this year's, my Vachanamrita was Karyani 10. And in God is saying that a devotee of God should on purpose suffer or take on heat, cold, and bodily discomfort and austerities to please God. So then if some discomfort does come to the devotee of God because of by the way of sickness or something like that, then why would he want that to go away? And it's a hard thought, but that's what, if you believe in God and that's what he likes, then that's the thought process that we have to cultivate. But in general, that if any sort of bodily discomforts, and because of those it becomes difficult to cope with satsang, then we start seeing deficiency in satsang and the Mota Purush, that why is Mota Purush not removing this sickness in me? Why is, after doing this much satsang, why is this satsang not keeping me, elevating me from this? Instead of thinking that this, it's easy for me to say, I guess, but instead of thinking that this bodily problems that have come are actually helping me to become, contemplate more on Atma. Suji was telling me, once long time back, when I found out that I had fissure, and everyone was meeting, I was saying that I had this fissure, problem thawana. So Suji said, why are you telling this everyone? Thank God that you have got this problem, and then that you will elevate from your body consciousness with this problem. So even a sickness comes, we want to accept it as sent by God and enjoy it. That is the prasad of God, and that's the thought that, and I really liked what Suji Bhai had said at that time. So that was the day I was thinking of. Then the third part is the bhog. The bhog is like, I was thinking of just all the indulgence and all the worldly pleasures, eating tasty foods, things that, we don't do, like drinking, women, whatever it is, And without realizing the happiness from these things, that they are really temporary, as opposed to the happiness that we get from satsang, in Vedas. And I think I've experienced myself that all these worldly things, they give you temporary happiness, but then it creates, more thirst, and it creates more uncontentfulness or discontent after those wishes go away. These wishes, they tend to create this effect of continuously and constantly needing them, And, I was talking to Suad about a couple of days back that, we used to watch movies and we used to like watching movies. And yes, there was, let's say it's a funny movie, you would enjoy it during that time. And let's say, you had the company of the friends and you enjoyed that. But every time after we watched that movie, the feeling was not right. The feeling was, there's something, it was not a happy feeling once it was gone, Whereas satsang, we may find it even difficult to come to satsang or sit in satsang for that long. But once the satsang is done, the feeling that you get away with after that is much nicer. It's the sort of subtle and subdued happiness that comes along with you after going to satsang, So if you become result oriented, that what is the end product, after, let's say we eat some tasty foods, and we eat a lot of it because while we're eating, we enjoy it. But then after that, gas the jai, after that we get some sort of long-term disease, then that same, what enjoyment we had temporary is become a long-term misery, So instead, why don't we make decisions which are wise and more result-oriented and long-term oriented, that, okay, after doing satsang, the end effect is positive, is happy, then why not do more satsang, So that was the thought I had for bhog. But, bhog is one thing that actually tends to take away us, because it offers us a temporary illusion, a temporary happiness that tends to take away us from satsang, and which has more long-term effect and long-term happiness. And the fourth thing that Swami talks about is a paksh. And Swami is saying that this is really the deadliest one, And Swami is saying that, and I was thinking that all the others are like desires in some sort of form of attraction or not understanding it properly, But the paksh is actually, the wrong paksh is basically coming from the flaw in the intellect, The paksh is the one that makes us judge things, situations as right and wrong. કે આ સાચું છે ને આ ખોટું છે અને એ પ્રમાણે આપણે એનો પક્ષ લઈએ. And let's say with all the satsang knowledge and with our Guru's grace, we have that vivek. And by his grace that we, we have the discrimination that we can stay away from all the worldly desires and sensual objects, and we can stay away from log, deh, and bhog. But the challenge is always comes up with maintaining the right paksh. There was one example. There is a Vachanamrita, Garda, middle 61, which talks about niyam, nischay, and paksh. And in that, Bhagwan talks about always keeping the side of the devotee. It's very natural when a devotee or a saint of God is doing some action, and if we cannot rationalize with our righteousness or whatever vivek that we have acquired, at that time we judge that devotee and even judge the saint of God. And we fall in this, Kakaji used to say, this paksha pakshi, And that basically is the result of show, and that will cause munjwan, in the end, some time back we were talking about Vachanamrut verse 58, about progressing and regressing. And in that Vachanamrut, God has said that one is allowed to see negative in a devotee if he is not following the Panchvartman. But the way Dingarangal explained, that one desiring to only progress never gets into that. He will only see whatever is positive in a devotee. Dingarangal gave an example of a devotee during Swami's time. He was very fond of eating tasty foods. So, because of that, is to cause a lot of issues and problems at home. So his wife had asked for Swami's help. So Swami asked that devotee to come with him to stay in Junagadh. And every day he had instructed the Santos, so Santos would serve him very special and tasty food. That the devotee noticed that Swami always ate last in the night separately. So he was thinking in his mind that if I am getting all these tasty foods, Swami must be even getting even more better foods, and that's why he must be eating separately in the night. So one day, with those thoughts, he went to see what is Swami eating.
May not be at the night, but
So,
maybe at lunchtime, maybe.
lunchtime.
Swami doesn't eat maybe normally.
Ratna Timtana Swami. So one day he decided to see what Swami was eating. So he kept himself at a distance where he could see what was going on, but no one could see him, but he could also hear what's going on in the kitchen. And he saw that the Santos brought a rotlo and a white liquid. And then he saw that the Swami actually crumbled the rotlo into like a powder and put in the white liquid, and then asked for salt. So when the Santos brought the rotlo and the white liquid, he saw that Swami is having rotlo and a doodh, saras paku doodh and rotlo jamecha. But when he saw that Swami crumbling it and putting it into the white liquid and asking for salt, that's when it realized that actually that rotlo is a dry suko rotlo which is a couple of days or 1 day old, and he's actually mixing it into the most bland chas, and he's adding just salt just for some flavor. So such a great sadhu, the Mahant of the temple, which has arranged all of this, rich food for me, he himself is eating such simple food, and that made a big impact on him. And that, as I explained before, that from that impact, his vritti of taste went away. But in this Vachanamrita, Dingaran was saying that appearances could be deceiving. That what that person saw, and let's say what if he saw the sadhu bringing the rotlo and the white milk, and then went, then he would go away thinking that Swami is actually enjoying rotlo and milk. But somehow divinity had it planned that he stuck around and he saw what actually happened. So appearances, what we see, are also deceiving. So Dingaran was explaining that if someone who has the inclination of always progressing, then they should never see negative in anyone, because yes, let's say as per sadhu's niyam, sadhus are not supposed to enjoy tasty foods. Nishwadi Vartman Parvanavasha. So if a sadhu was actually enjoying tasty food, that devotee had in a way a right of seeing negative as per this Vachanamrita. But Dingaran was cautioning that why get into that negative side, as God was saying in the Vachanamrita, that the one who always is positive always continues to progress. Yes, with negative, there may be a chance that he may be right or he may be wrong. But then why take, if you are a sound person, then why take that risk? When the downside is so much, why take that risk? Just always look for the upside. So I think what Dingoran is saying, we cannot even trust our own senses and our mental calculations. Hence, if we want to wish, we should always see positive, you know. And also, Dingoran explained that in that Vachanamrit, the reason God had answered it that way, because Muktanand Swami had asked the question. Muktanand Swami was a senior saint, and it was his responsibility to actually guide all the younger saints. So, you know, and one of the roles that he played, that if a younger saint had made a mistake, or he would give them prayaschit, you know, so, or sort of repentance. So without actually judging the situation, I'm guessing Muktanand Swami couldn't deliver the repentance or the prayaschit for that saint. So he was given that, let's say, that liberty, you know. But if you think that, like, you know, we are sadhaks, and our progress, we are on the mark of learning, then why would we ever get into this, this business of judging anyone, you know? In I think in the same note, Dingar uncle, I think there is another Vachanamrit Dingar talked about, was Vachanamrit middle 61, which talked about Paksh also. In that, there is a famous prasang that we all we know about, where this Vachanamrit middle 61 was being read during Sastriji Maharaj's time. The Santos were reading it, and at that time the Divan of Limbdi was there, and he raised a doubt that even if it's a devotee of God, but let's say he breaks the law, he should be punished accordingly, you know. That's what the Divan was raising a doubt, you know. And there was like some sort of heated argument was going on. And at that time, Shastriji Maharaj walked in. And so he naturally asked what's going on. And then they said that this is what's going on. So then Shastriji Maharaj told that Divan that at least keep the paksh of the devotee of God as much as you have kept the paksh of your own nephew. What had happened was a few months back or few days back, the Divan's nephew was caught. He had committed murder and he was caught. And then Divan did all he could do because of his connections, political connections, all the money he had. He employed all of his might to actually bring that nephew out of jail. So Shastriji Maharaj was saying that at least keep the paksh of the devotee as much as you can keep the paksh of your own nephew or your own family member, you know. So we have all of this knowledge given to us, and let's say because of that we even keep the right paksh. We always, we side with the devotee, a devotee of God. Even though if he's making a mistake, we always side with him. That's the knowledge we have gotten, But then I was thinking there is really a sort of a PhD exam after that, and I thought that's the exam that's not the exam, but that's the process where Dinkar uncle, Swamiji, Sahib, Santos, all the Santos, they went through and showed us how to act in these situations. And and that situation is when a guru himself is sort of somehow disciplining or punishing or whatever it is another fellow devotee, And at that time, what should we do, And I was thinking the example from Dingar uncle's time, during Kakaji's time, Kakaji used to very openly scold Bapu. But Dingar uncle never saw that. Dingar used to say that I never made a comment or made fun of Bapu, but always kept Bapu's side. A similar situation had happened in 1966 when Bapa and the whole BAPS Sanstha, as part of that, they excommunicated Kakaji and Papaji, But at that time, Swamiji, Santos, Sahib, and all the devotees, they kept Kakaji and Papaji's side. At that time, the accusations that were thrown on Kakaji, Papaji were not small ones, The accusations were that, the Dadu Babu Bhai, they are stealing money from the society, that they are womanizers, they're having, illicit affairs with all these women that are coming there for sadhana, Or these people, they want to be worshipped as God, These were very serious accusations that they were footing on Kakaji and Papaji, And Bapa himself, as I was being told, the Bapa himself had signed that Vimukh letter. So it's kind of Bapa himself was endorsing, all of those accusations. Seemingly, you could think that he was endorsing all of those accusations. But if you think in this condition also, that Swamiji, Sahib, and all the different householders, they supported and stayed at the side of Kakaji and Papaji. And Kakaji said that કે ધન્યવાદ છે તમે અને we are your વેચાણ for those who have અમારો જે ભરોસો રાખ્યો છે અમે તમારા વેચાણ છે we are indebted to you because that you kept faith and trust in us So in this situation, it's obvious that, like the situation with Kakaji and Bapu or Yogiji Maharaj and Kakaji Papaji, naturally that, Dinkar uncle didn't see negative in Bapu, and all the Santos and all, Swamiji and Sahib, they didn't see any negative in Kakaji and Papaji, But also, I thought that what we take more for granted is that they also didn't see any negativity in Yogiji Maharaj himself, And that was the coaching and the teaching of Kakaji and Swamiji that, yes, they started with Kakaji Papaji and seeing positivity in them and kept their side, but also to not have negative bhav towards Bap's Sanstha or Yogiji Maharaj was a big challenge, and which, by the guidance of Kakaji and Swamiji and Sahib and Papaji, that everyone was able to maintain that same amount of divinity or even more divinity towards Yogiji Maharaj, And I was thinking that, when Kakaji was scolding Bapu, Dingaran could have thought that Kakaji is a Gunatit saint. Why is he not acting saintly? Why is he scolding Bapu? Bapu is only a devotee. He has just made a mistake, so you should forgive him. But Dinkar uncle didn't go into that. In fact, he said that Bapu's mistake is really my mistake, and whatever Kakaji is doing to Bapu is actually scolding me, and that's how he approached Bapu. He always said that this is how Kakaji is making me mature. In the same way, during the whole Vimukh Prakram, everyone could have thought that Bapa is doing, that Harshad Bhai is doing this, that, or this guy is doing this and that. But they believe that Bapa is doing this. And not only that, they believe that Bapa is doing this for our own good. He's doing that to actually really develop us. And Kakaji even went one step further and said that, that this is our greatest blessing that he has kept faith in us. So, believing that Bapa is doing this, believing that Bapa is doing for our own good, and then higher than that is that this is a blessing that he is kept faith in us, To me, there was like a totally different level, which, can't really think of the level that Kakaji acted, or the Kakaji showed us how to, have that kind of divya bhav towards the master, So, I was obviously this when the thing of Paksh comes up, and we see situations which are, we may seem like those situations that happened in the past, But I was thinking myself, Dinkar uncle, that whatever you're doing is ready to make me strong, And that there is so much weakness in me that you have to take this stance to actually teach us the right lesson, so that we don't make the same mistake. And if that is truly what it is the case, it also applies to our fellow devotees and to our friends, that you're really doing this to actually strengthen all of us, and to really elevate all of us and progress all of us, and to really develop us, There is no other intention other than progressing all of us. I was thinking that for this many years, that very selflessly, without any expectations, Dinkar uncle has only wished for our good, And there is no reason to believe anything otherwise, For this many years, Dinkar, you've been forgiving our small and big mistakes, But now if you want to increase the pace of our transformation, if you want to do those operations, we want to say that if not now, when? And all of these incidences have for sure, challenged the best of us, and has very clearly shown our own weaknesses, And all of this wouldn't have been possible even after years of introspection. But with whatever we have learned so far, we want to pray that you will continue to show us our mistakes and give us the strength to progress and overcome them. In this whole process, I was thinking there are several types of devotees, Some devotees will act like, Gunatitno Hatodo, and they would want to deliver some sort of consequence and force introspection. And I was thinking that is their seva, And some will, try to support, defend, and that is their seva, But I was thinking for myself that, may we perform that seva that you like the most, which is the Nirdosh Buddhi Rupi seva, That we see your working in all and keep complete Nirdosh Buddhi in all. And most importantly, we keep complete Diya Bhav in you and all of your actions, Today, I say that we are not able to act like that every single moment, There are times because of our lagni, because of our own mental convictions and calculations, because of our righteousness, sattvikta, we get upset, we get annoyed. And we get pushed in this process towards these thoughts of Manushya Bhava and Mayik Bhava, But we pray to you that this is a very Manushya Bhavani Jini Gunj, Kakaji should say, कि आप ये उगाड़ी दो અને maybe overflow with Diya Bhav. The Diya Bhav that Swami had towards Maharaj. The other day you were talking about Diya Bhav. The way Swami had towards Maharaj. The way Bhagaji Maharaj had towards Swami. Despite of being vimukht several times, he had utmost Diya Bhav for Swami. The way Jaka Swami had Diya Bhav towards Gunadan Swami. Prem Swami was here, he was saying that, I forget the exact number, Pavish, I don't know if you remember, 7 to 14 years, right? Jaga Swami was asked to stay in that room, And he never complained that, why me, I'm doing all this seva, I'm doing, writing of these books, why is this happening to me? He never complained that to Swami. And Krishna Jada had that divinity not only towards Swami, but towards Jaga Swami and Bhagaji Maharaj, It is said that whenever Bhagaji Maharaj Jaga Swami would come, Krishna Jada would actually do Danvat. And against all of the social norms, he was a Brahmin. Bhagaji Maharaj and Jaga Swami were of not of the higher caste. He would do Danvat to them, There was incidents, we know that Krishna Jada's wife, Ladki Ba, was feeding Jaga Swami. And he came in the house and he saw that and he stepped away, So against all norms, they have kept that Diya Bhav, in their Guru, And then, Shastriji Maharaj had that Diya Bhav towards Bhagaji Maharaj and Jaga Swami against all the difficulties and opposition. Bapa had towards Shastriji Maharaj despite of all the hardships. Kakaji towards Bapa despite of all the opposition and, in Kakaji's life, there's a series of adverse circumstances, But his Diya Bhav, Bharat Bhai, we have talked about this before. Bharat Bhai said in every circumstances, every situation which would actually get out a person would just be totally kicked out, knocked out. But in those situations, Kaka's Diya Bhav for Bapa increased, From the business, from the Nandaji Prasang, from the Beno Prasang, Santosh Prasang and the Mukh Prasang. His Diya Bhav towards Bapa kept on increasing after every Prasang, A Prasang that will actually kick out a person from Satsang. But Kakaji had that sort of faith and that sort of Diya Bhav towards Yogiji Maharaj. And we also see that, from, your life, Bapu, Bharat Bhai, Vashi Bhai, that the divinity that you had towards Kakaji in every action at all times, in his presence and even after his presence, you continue to have that divinity. You continue to have this feeling that he's here with us, That to such an extent that we feel that we know Kakaji, Even though we have not seen Kakaji, we feel...
You have seen.
Yeah, but but to this extent, we feel that we have been with Kakaji, that we have so much love and affinity for Kakaji. That's your Diya Bhav and that's your Mahima towards that Bapu's Diya Bhav and Bapu's Mahima towards Kakaji that has come to us, And, compared to the current situations, are nothing towards what our hierarchy has shown to us, we have your kind and ever benevolent shelter. You're just blessing shelter. So we pray to you, Dingarangal, that we shake off our jarta, we shake off our avidya, our false knowledge, our mental calculations, our superficial love and affection, our superficial compassion. Kakaji used to say, hit daya priti. And we seek your refuge and simply enjoy in your shelter. That please help us understand, that you said that this Nirdosh Buddhi Rupi Seva is what Brahmrup Muktos offer to God in Akshardham. So we want to pray to you, that this really becomes, this really becomes a reality in our life. That that kind of seva that you all the Gunati Sevas offered in your life, that seva we can also offer. So, prayer we had.
Very nice and long essay. Must have taken hours to write, right? Very good. It's getting close to 10 o'clock, so let me spend 10 minutes, and maybe we'll continue next time with Sadak Bhaiya, So આજ એ વાત છે this is 36 and there are different gestures that devotees and sadhaks remember, that Gunatit saints offer and give. So this gesture is that Swami was sleeping or laying down, When we translate into sleeping, it's not appropriate, Gunatit saints never sleep. But we can translate, that's okay. But Swami was meditating on this thoughts that what a great opportunity that Swaminarayan Bhagavan has come down on this earth. And what is the great opportunity that they all came at the same right time, to be in the association of Swaminarayan Bhagavan and all these saints, So that is what Swami was meditating on, which we call sleeping. And then he asked the question, getting up and asked the question, that what is the best of the best? And what is the worst of the worst? So it covers the both sides, And surprisingly, nobody could answer. It's a simple question, right? સારામાં સારું શું? બુડામાં બુડું શું? તો એનો જવાબ તો કોઈ બી આપી શકે ને. અમારા કિરણબેનની ઈશા આવી હતી હમણાં, અને અમારા ઘનશ્યામલાલે અને અમારા આશીષભાઈને વિજયબેન બધાએ ભેગા થઈને ટાકોન બધું બનાવેલું. તો આ આશ થયેલું કે આમાંથી તને સારામાં સારું શું ભાવે? ટાકો હતો, બરીટો હતો, ટોસ્ટાડા હતા ને બધું એનું. So she said taco. So it's easy to answer, right? અહીં આગળ બી સારામાં સારું શું, બુડામાં બુડું શું, easy to answer. But when she was answering, I was ready to give from the prasad, whatever was in the prasad, to give it to her, But same question if it was asked to Yogi Bapa. કે આ થાળમાંથી આપને શું ભાવે? So what would Bapa say? Same item, same ingredients, right? But whole different way of seeing. પ્રસાદમાં જે હોય ભાવે. પ્રસાદ વગરની વસ્તુ ગમે એટલી સારી હોય તો વર્થલેસ, યુઝલેસ. Big difference. So અહીંયા આગળ બી Swami was asking and nobody answered. So then Swami answered, saying that best of the best is this God and these saints we have association with. Sambandh. The key word is relation, Sambandh. Lord Krishna had so many relations, as a son to his parents, as a brother to his brother, to his sister, as father to his sons, husband to his wives, and friend to Arjun, devotee to Uddhavji, So many relations, Disciple to God, or Guru. So these relations are important, How you want to relate with Lord Krishna, how you want to relate with Swaminarayan Bhagavan, how you want to relate with Gunaditanand Swami or Kakaji or anybody, That relationship makes a big difference. And we have said many times, what is the highest type of relationship? What is the quality relationship? To me, it is as a disciple, to Guru, That is the best relationship that can benefit a lot, Some people would say, with Bhagavan, as a devotee also, But between the God and Gunatit Saint, it's better to have a relationship with Gunatit Saint. Because you will know God better than not knowing or not having relationship with Guru, But there are many times we have discussed that, and talked, why. But here, Gunaditanand Swami is saying, સારામાં સારું તો એ આ ભગવાન અને આ સાધુનો સંબંધ થયો છે તેથી કાંઈ સારું નથી. સ્વામીએ કેટલું બધું ડીપ એનાલિસિસ કર્યું છે એના વિશે સૂતા સંબંધ થવો એ સામાન્ય વાત નથી. સંબંધ થવો એ મોટા ભાગ્યની વાત છે. એટલે કે તેથી કાંઈ સારું નથી ને તેથી કાંઈ સારું સમજવાનું પણ નથી કે સ્વામી પાછા સમજણની વાત લાવી દે. સેવા અને સમજણ, those are the two powerful devices, for our growth. શું કહે છે? તેથી કાંઈ સારું સમજવાનું નથી. અને મોઢામાં બોલું છું તો આ સાધુને વિશે મનુષ્ય ભાવ આવે છે, તેથી બીજું કાંઈ બોલું નથી. બે સ્ટેટમેન્ટ કર્યા છે, પણ આખી વાતની અંદર આના પછીનું બધું જ મનુષ્યભાવ વિશેનું જ જણાવ્યું છે. લોટ ઓફ એક્સપ્લેનેશન ફોર દેટ પાર્ટ. ફાયદાકારક પેલું છે કે એવા મોટા પુરુષની સાથે આપણને જે સંબંધ થયો અને સંબંધને જો સમજીએ તો લોટરી છે, ફાયદો છે. ફાયદાવાળી એ વસ્તુ છે. પણ સ્વામી શું કહે છે કે જેને ફાયદો થયો છે એની વાત તો હવે કરવાની શું ફેર પડવાનો છે, એ તો આગળ વધી જ રહ્યો છે ભાઈ એનો, રાઈટ. પણ જેને ફાયદો નથી થયો, જે લોકો અટવાઈ ગયા છે, એને માટે પછી સ્વામી એક્સપાન્ડ કરીને વાત કરે છે. શું કહે છે કે આ સાધુને વિશે મનુષ્ય ભાવ આવે છે, તેથી બીજું કાંઈ બુડું નથી. આ સાધુને વિશે એટલે ગુણાતીતાનંદ સ્વામીને વિશે. મનુષ્ય ભાવ એટલે કંઈક નેગેટિવિટી, કંઈક અનએક્સેપ્ટન્સ, કંઈક ડાઉટફુલનેસ, કંઈક આર્ગ્યુમેન્ટ, ઓલ ધીસ થિંગ ઇઝ મનુષ્ય ભાવ. અને 24 કલાકમાં 5 મિનિટ બી આવતો હોય એનો, 23 કલાકને 55 મિનિટ દિવ્ય ભાવ રહેતો હોય એનો. 5 મિનિટ ઇઝ ડેન્જરસ. એટલી પણ ના ચાલે. કાકાજી એ ટીચિંગ કરવા માગતા હતા એમ. બાપાની અંદર સહેજ બી મનુષ્ય ભાવ નહીં આવવા દેવાનું. બાપાની અંદર અખંડ દિવ્ય ભાવ રાખવાનો. અને એના માટે કાકાજીએ ટેકનિકો શું બતાવી, તમારે રાખવો છે ને તો તમે બીજાને એ શીખવાડો, એટલે તમારું પાકું. બીજાને જો તમે શીખવાડતા થયા એટલે તમારા સબકોન્શિયસ પ્રોગ્રામમાં એ વસ્તુ ચાલવાની, એ વસ્તુનું જ મનન ચિંતન થવાનું એનું. પણ બીજાને જ્યારે શીખવાડીએ ત્યારે બીજો જ્યારે આર્ગ્યુમેન્ટ કરે ત્યારે આપણે કેવું વર્તવું, તે વખતે બી પેશન્ટ રાખવાનો, તે વખતે બી એની સાથે દિવ્ય ભાવ રાખવાનો, તે વખતે બી એવું જાણવાનું કે ભાઈ હું બી કોઈ વખતે ભૂલ કરતો હતો, પણ આ કરે તો કંઈ વાંધો નહીં એનો. એના માટે એને કેમ કરીને આગળ લેવો, કેમ કરીને એનું ભલું થાય એવું ઈચ્છું એનો. આવા બધા જો પોઈન્ટો ઉપર પોઝિટિવલી જોઈએ તો આપણી અંદરનો સબકોન્શિયસનો કચરો છે ને નીકળી જાય. આપણી અંદરની જે ઇમ્પ્યોરિટી છે એ ઇઝીલી ઇવેપરેટ થઈ જાય. એના માટે બહુ દાખલો કરવો ના પડે. કેટલા બધા આપણા અંદરના સંસ્કારો છે, કેટલાય જન્મોના એને ક્લિયર કરવા એટલે પરસેવો પડી જાય. હમણાં તો પરસેવો નથી પડતો. પિન્ટુ એક્સરસાઇઝ કરીને આવ્યો, પહેલાં પરસેવો જ દેખાતો નથી. નીચે બેઝમેન્ટમાં એક્સરસાઇઝ કરી ઉપર એને સુરત શોર્ટ ઓફ બ્રેથ મને લાગ્યું એક્સરસાઇઝ કરીએ છીએ. પણ સ્વામી શું કહે છે કે ભૂંડામાં બુડું શું તો મનુષ્ય ભાવ આવે છે, તેથી બીજું કાંઈ બુડું નથી. અને તે મનુષ્ય ભાવ તે શેણે કરીને આવે છે? મનુષ્ય ભાવ આવવાનું કારણ સ્વામીની વાતો એટલે માસ્ટરનો 4 વસ્તુ આપી દીધી: લોક, ભોગ, દેહ ને પક્ષ. આપણે બી એનાલિસિસ કરીએ તો મનુષ્ય કંઈક નડતું હોય આપણને. મનુષ્ય ભાવ તો મનુષ્ય કંઈક નડતું હોય. એમાં બી પાછું છેલ્લું કે જે પક્ષપાત છે એ વધારે કરો. જોયું છે કાકાજી બી વચનામૃતો હોય ને એમાં છેલ્લા ફકરાઓ વધારે રિફર કરાવતા દરેક વચનામૃતોના. કારણ કે મહારાજ પણ વચનામૃતમાં જે ખેંચી કે છેલ્લે હોય ને અતિશય ટોપ લાવીને મૂકે. દરેકની કેપેસિટી ધીરે 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 લઈને છેક ટોપ ઉપર લઈ જાય. સ્વામી બી લોક, ભોગ, દેહ પછી પક્ષ. ચોથી વાત પક્ષની મૂકી. વચનામૃતમાં પણ નિયમ, નિશ્ચય અને પક્ષ. છેલ્લી વાત પક્ષની મૂકી. આમ તો ત્રણેય સારું છે. નિયમ બી જોઈએ, નિશ્ચય બી જોઈએ, પક્ષ બીજો પણ સ્વામી કહે પક્ષપાત છે તેણે કરીને મનુષ્યભાવ આવે છે. તેમાં જેવું પક્ષપાતે કરીને જીવનું ભૂંડું થાય છે તેવું તો પંચ વિષય કરીને પણ થતું નથી. જીવનું ભૂંડું પંચ વિષયથી થાય છે એવું નથી થતું. પણ એ જે લેવલથી થાય એના કરતાં આ પક્ષપાતનું લેવલ એથી બી વધારે છે. કારણ કે પંચ વિષયની અંદરનો ક્યારેક પાછો આવશે, ક્યારેક સ્વામીનો ગુણ લેશે, પણ પક્ષપાત થયો તો ગયો એને પછી રહેવું જ નહીં કશું. એને કોઈ મોટો પછી પ્રસંગ થાય ને કંઈક આવે તો જુદી વાત છે ભાઈ. એટલે સરસ સ્વામીની વાત છે. 10 વાગી ગયા, ચાલો 2 મિનિટ ધૂન કરીએ. આજે અમારા ગિરીશભાઈનો બર્થડે છે ઇન્ડિયામાં, અને અમારા લીનાબેન એમનો બી, સુરેન્દ્રભાઈના લીનાબેનનો બી ગઈકાલે બર્થડે હતો. સરસ 2 મિનિટ ધૂન કરીએ બધા માટે. બટ પિન્ટુભાઈ, યુ કલેક્ટેડ ગુડ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટુડે, સરસ.
જે ગ્રુપમાં બધા ભજે છે એ તો એવું જ માનતા છે કે દે આર રાઈટ પક્ષ. આચાર્યનું જે માનવાવાળા છે, આચાર્યમાં જે છે લોકો એ તો એવું જ માને છે કે મેં આચાર્યના પક્ષમાં છીએ, મેં રાઈટ પક્ષમાં છીએ. એટલે હર કોઈ ગ્રુપની અંદર જે બેઠા છે, જે ગુરુને લઈને મંડ્યા છે, એ તો એવું જ માને છે કે આપણે રાઈટ પક્ષમાં છીએ. એટલે સામાન્ય ડિવોટી હોય, how you figure out he's in right box or not. એટલે logically I was discussing with Shanti last night. કોઈ બી ઇન્સિડન્ટ કે કોઈ બી વ્યક્તિ અથવા કોઈ બી વસ્તુ થાય તો માઇન્ડ બે બાજુ લોજિક કરે છે. એટલે મેં સમજાયું કે કાં તો માણસ પડી જાય, કાં તો ઊભો રહે. બધી વસ્તુમાં કાં તો આ થાય, કાં તો પેલું થાય, કાં તો આ થાય, કાં તો પેલું થાય. એવું લોજિક છે ને. કાં તો ગ્લાસ ત્યાં ઉપર રહેશે, કાં તો પડી જશે. કેવું લોજિક સારું રહે એમાંથી. તો એવું લોજિક કરે લાઈફની અંદર. તમે ગમે તે પક્ષમાં જાઓ, ગમે તેના ગુણ ગાઓ, અને કોઈનો બી તમે ધમકાવો ગાઓ, ગુણ ગાઓ, એ તમને ભગવાન તરફ લઈ જાય છે, એ વ્યક્તિને ભગવાન તરફ લઈ જાય છે, તો લોજિક સાચું, એની પક્ષ સાચો. જો એ વ્યક્તિ અથવા પોતે ભગવાનથી દૂર જાય એ લોજિકથી, એ બધું ખોટું.
રાઈટ.
એટલે જ્યારે હું કંઈક અતિશક્તિ કરતો હોઉં, અથવા તો બિયોન્ડ હર થિંકિંગ થતો હોઉં, અથવા તો એની મેં કીધું આ જે હું કરું છું અને તને ગમતું નથી, એટલે એનો મતલબ એવો થાય કે હું ભગવાનથી દૂર જાઉં છું, એટલે તને ગમતું નથી, કે તારો વેસ્ટેજ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ છે એમાં એ ગવાય છે, એટલે તને ગમતું નથી. યુ થિંક અબાઉટ ઇટ. કોઈ વ્યક્તિ કરે છે જે દાખલાથી હું ધર્મની બહુ પાડું છું અને કોઈ મારી ટીકા કરે તો હું ભગવાનથી નજીક જઉં છું, એટલે એ મન રોકે છે કે એને સ્વામી વાતમાં પણ આવે છે કે જે નિયમ ના પાડતા હોય, કોઈ આકડા નિયમ પાડતું હોય તો એને ઓપોઝ કરે. એટલે એ જે બધું ખરું ને, એટલે એન્ડ રિઝલ્ટમાં તમે શું કરવા માગો છો? જો ભગવાન નજીક જવા માંગો છો, દૂર જાઓ છો, અથવા તો તમે કોઈ રોકવા જાઓ ભગવાન નજીક તો બધી દૂર કરો છો. તમારા લોજિકથી કે તમારી બુદ્ધિથી, તમારા સત્સંગથી, કે તમે જે એક્શન કરો છો એને ભગવાન તરફ લઈ જવા માટે કરો છો, કે તમારો વેસ્ટેજ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ છે, તો પોતાનો સ્વાર્થ છે. તમે કોઈનું જ્ઞાન આપો છો, કોઈ બી વસ્તુ કરો છો, તમે સત્સંગની અંદર કરો છો, કોઈ બી એક્ટિવિટી કરો છો, તમે એમાં તમે પોતાનું પોઝિશન સ્ટ્રોંગ બનાવવા માંગો છો, ભગવાનની પોઝિશન સ્ટ્રોંગ બનાવવા માંગો છો, અથવા ભગવાન તરફ કોઈ ધકેલો છો, પોતાના તરફ ખેંચો છો. ધેટ્સ એટલે આ બે લોજિક ખરો ને, એમાં ભગવાન તરફ જઈને લઈ જાય શાંતિ, એ પણ એગ્રી પછી એ લોજિક સાચું.
રાઈટ.
ભગવાન દૂર જાય તો લોજિક ખોટું છે. જે રેફરન્સ આપીએ છીએ વાતો કરતાં આપણે એ રેફરન્સ એવા આવવા જોઈએ કે જે એટ ધ એન્ડ દાખલા તરીકે કોઈ એમ કે આર્ગ્યુમેન્ટ કરે કે રામે રાવણને કેમ માર્યો, એ તો શંકર ભગવાનનો ભગત હતો, તો કઈ વાઈફને લઈ ઉઠાઈ ગઈ એટલે માર્યો, એ લોજિકથી ને કે વાઈફને લઈ ગયા એટલે એને વાઈફને પાછી લેવા માટે ના આપી એટલે એને માર્યો રાવણ. તો ભગવાન તો શંકર ભગવાન ભગત હતો, આ લોજિક થયું ને. પણ એ લોજિકથી એ રામનું કરેલું કાર્ય ખરું એ સત્ય થાય છે કે અસત્ય થાય છે, અથવા તો જે ભગવાન તરફ જવાનું જે આ લોજિક કામમાં આવશે કે નહીં આવે, ભગવાન તરફ લઈ જતું હોય એ લોજિક તો સાચું નહીં તો ખોટું. એટલે આ લોજિક જગતમાં બહુ ચાલે. શાસ્ત્રને ખોટું પાડી નાખે, શાસ્ત્રમાં એવા બધા એમાંથી કાઢે જ નથી. કે કાલે જ હું વિચાર કરતો હતો કે ઇન્દ્ર રાજાએ નાટક કર્યું અહલ્યાના કેસમાં, તો જે ચંદ્ર હતો એને લક્ષ લાગ્યું કારણ કે ઇન્વોલ્વ, તો સૂર્યને કેમ ના લાગ્યું કારણ કે ત્યાં નતા એક હતી, રાત હતી, એની ગયા જેવું થયું. છતાં પણ સૂર્ય was working under the Indra Raja. ઇન્દ્રના અંદરમાં હતા ને સૂર્ય તો, ઇન્દ્ર રાજા હતો એનો સંગ તો હતો એને, એટલે હી કેનોટ ગેટ આઉટ ફ્રોમ ધ કુસંગ. જેનો નેતા કુસંગી હોય એના બધા જે હોય એના અંદર આજ્ઞા વ્રતા હોય બધા સંસ્કાર લાગવાના. એટલે એનો બીજો એક વિચાર કર્યો કે જે કર્ણ થયો એ અર્જુનનો દીકરો હતો, આપણે આનો સૂર્યનો દીકરો હતો. અને અર્જુન મંત્ર જે હતો ઇન્દ્રનો હતો, એટલે ઇન્દ્રના મંત્રથી અર્જુન પુત્ર તરીકે પેદા થયો. તો એ ઇન્દ્રના સંસ્કાર આવવાના એમ, એમ કર્ણના સંસ્કાર જે સૂર્યના સંસ્કાર કર્ણમાં આવ્યા. એટલે જેમ કે કર્ણએ જે સૂર્યએ પોતાની આખી કારકિર્દી અંડર ઇન્દ્રના અંડર મોડી કાઢી કહેવાય ને, અંડર મોડી, એટલે કર્ણે પણ એ જ ધંધો કર્યો, દુર્યોધનના અંડર મળ્યો. એટલે સંસ્કારની કેવી અસર થાય એમ દેવતાઓમાં થાય છે. એટલે એસોસિએશન કોની આજ્ઞામાં તમે રહો છો, શા માટે રહો છો, એટલે બધું એ બધું કામ એ બધું આવે. આજે સંઘને સંઘની વાત કરી છે આપણે બધી નિયમ નિશ્ચયની પક્ષની, એ બધામાં સંસ્કાર લાગે છે એના. અને એનો જે હેડ હોય જો ખોટું કરે તો એના ચેલામાં સંસ્કાર આવવાના છે બધા. એની અંદર કોઈ નેતા જે કરે, જે ગુરુ કરે અને બધા એને ફોલો કરતા હોય તો ગુરુની આટલી નાની મિસ્ટેક બધું ગુરુમાં ચલાવવામાં આવવાની છે. એ ફંડામેન્ટ કાકાજે કહ્યું છે. એટલે નિયમ નિશ્ચય પક્ષની અંદર કોઈ વસ્તુ ભગવાન તરફ લઈ જાય સાચું એન્ડ રિઝલ્ટ, ભગવાનથી દૂર લઈ ગયો સમથિંગ રોંગ સમવેર. આ ભાઈએ બધી વાત કરી પિન્ટુ ભાઈએ, રેફરન્સ તમે આપો છો, જેના દાખલા આપો છો તમે, જેના કોટેશન આપો છો, દેટ મેટર્સ. કાકાજીનું કોટેશન આપો એ બરાબર છે. ભરતભાઈને મેં એમ લખ્યું છે, ભરત વાક્યમ જે આવે છે જે બ્લોક, it cannot put without name. પહેલાં બીજું કે જેનું કોટેશન તમે આપો છો it should be from good આપણા જે વારસામાં આવવું જોઈએ. કારણ કે નહીતર પછી કશો અર્થ જ નહીં નો, કારણ કે બ્લોકમાંથી આવે એવું મુકાય. તો મેં તમને મોકલી દીધું ઓછું 10 ગુણ લોકોએ શોધી કાઢ્યું વાક્ય ઇઝ નો મિનિંગ. એ વસ્તુ આમ લાગે થાય પણ એ જીભ લખે છે એ તો કશું પાડતો નહીં. અથવા તો કોઈ એવી પ્રેક્ટિસમાં કરી અનુભવ મૂકીને વાત નહીં કરીએ.